Moonlight and the Fairy Queen. A whispered fairy tale for the dreaming heart. Close your eyes now. Gently, slowly. Let the day slip away like mist across a silver lake. Inhale the hush of evening. Exhale all that was. This is a story for dreamers, for wanderers of the night, for those who still believe in the shimmer between worlds. There once was a girl named Elara. She lived in a quiet village by the edge of an ancient forest, a place where moonlight danced on mossy stones and the trees whispered secrets to the wind. Elara was gentle and quiet, with eyes full of stars and a heart that always looked toward the horizon. By day, she worked among books and wildflowers, but by night, she dreamed. Each evening, as the stars pricked the sky and the moon rose like a glowing pearl, Elara would fall into a sleep deeper than silence. And in that sleep, she would visit another world, a realm lit by soft stardust and golden dewdrops, where time moved like lullabies, and everything shimmered with quiet magic. In her dreams, there was a forest of silver birch and lavender skies. Butterflies the size of teacups danced through the air, and glowing rivers hummed with music only dreamers could hear. At the heart of this dream world stood a castle of crystal vines and moonstone towers, and within it reigned the Fairy Queen, radiant, eternal, and ever watchful. Every night, Elara would wander the Queen's lands. She never spoke with her, but always saw her from afar, standing on a balcony of light, her gown made of clouds and moonbeams, her hair a river of stars. Elara didn't know why she was drawn to her, but her heart pulsed each time their eyes met, even if just in dreams. And so it went, night after night. Two worlds, one of sun and soil, and one of dream and dew, held her gently between them. But one night, as the moon turned full and a hush fell over the earth, something shifted. That night, as Elara lay beneath her woven quilt, a strange stillness filled the air. The wind outside paused. The usual creaks of her cottage fell silent. Even her breath seemed quieter, slower, as though the night itself was holding its breath. She slipped into sleep like a petal falling onto calm water. But when her dream began, it felt different, clearer, more vivid. The colors shimmered with new brilliance, and the air in the fairy realm seemed to sing softly, as if it were welcoming her. The path she always took, the soft trail of moss that led through the silver forest, was now lined with glowing bluebells. They chimed gently as she passed, the sound like tiny lullabies. Elara followed them, barefoot and smiling, until the trees opened into a vast clearing she had never seen before. At its center was a mirror-like pool, so still it reflected the stars perfectly, as though it were a piece of the sky. And there, across the water, stood the Fairy Queen. But this time, she was not far away. She stood waiting at the edge of the pool, her gown trailing behind her like mist, her eyes soft as moonlight. Elara stopped, her heart fluttering like a hummingbird. The Queen raised a hand and beckoned. No words, just a gesture, gentle and sure. Elara stepped forward, the cool grass beneath her feet, and a warm breeze wrapping around her like a shawl. As she reached the water's edge, the pool parted without a ripple, revealing a crystal path beneath the surface. She hesitated for a moment. Was this still a dream? Could she cross? Should she? Then the Queen spoke for the very first time. Her voice was music, soft, melodic, woven with wind and waves. Elara, you've come so far. Tonight, you may choose. And with those words, the stars above began to spin. Elara felt the world slow, as though time itself had curled up to rest. The queen's words echoed within her, soft but certain. Tonight, you may choose. She looked down at the crystal path beneath the pool, shimmering, clear, and lined with petals of light. Her bare feet moved before she even decided, drawn by something deep and ancient inside her heart. One step, two, and the world around her shimmered like dew in the sun. Each step felt like music, like walking through a lullaby. And on the other side, the queen awaited, her presence both regal and gentle, as if all the gentlest dreams of the world had taken shape in her form. When Elara reached her, she felt no fear, only calm. The queen extended her hand. Elara placed hers within it. Their fingers touched like moonlight touching the surface of a still lake. "I have watched you," the queen said, her voice wrapping around Elara like a velvet breeze. "Night after night, you came to our realm with wonder in your soul. You did not ask. You did not demand. You only dreamed, gently." Elara's lips parted, a question rising, but the queen answered before it came. "There are some hearts," she said, "that belong to both worlds. Yours has danced between waking and dreaming with grace. Now you may choose to wake and let this place fade as morning comes, or to stay and let your soul bloom here as it was always meant to." Elara looked back. Behind her, the crystal path was already fading into mist. The forest glowed with a quiet invitation. The wind carried scents of wild honeysuckle and stardust. And above them, the sky rippled with soft auroras, as if the night itself awaited her answer. And then, with the softest of smiles, Elara whispered, "I choose to stay." The moment her words left her lips, the world around her sighed, a soft, celestial exhale, as though the stars themselves had been holding their breath, waiting for this choice. The queen's smile deepened, filled with a quiet joy that shimmered brighter than any crown. She placed her other hand gently over Elara's heart. A warmth bloomed there, golden and calm, like a sunrise behind her ribs. "Elara," the queen whispered, "you were never only dreaming. This realm has always known your name." In a swirl of light and soft wind, her simple linen dress became a flowing gown of twilight blue and stardust. The petals of the forest rose into the air and danced around her. From the trees came quiet music, strings of light, whispers of harps, the hum of wings. The fairies gathered, gliding from behind moonlit trunks and flowering branches, their laughter like silver bells. They bowed to her. All of them. One by one, the tiny beings of light, the guardians of dreams, the keepers of night. The queen turned toward the crystal palace that now shimmered brighter than ever. "Come," as she said, "it is time." Hand in hand, they walked through the gates of starlight. As they entered, the air shifted, heavier with magic, softer with memory. The palace walls pulsed like heartbeats, their glow dimming and glowing in rhythm with the hush of the night. Elara looked around. Every step held echoes, of dreams she didn't remember, of laughter she'd never heard, of songs that hadn't yet been sung. And yet, she knew them all. She had always known them. In the great hall of moonstone and vines, the queen stepped aside. Elara of the two worlds, as she proclaimed, her voice ringing like a lullaby sung by the wind, it will now reign as Queen of Dreams. The realm of sleep and starlight welcomes her home. And in that moment, Elara felt herself become something more. Something quiet and radiant. She was no longer a visitor. She was a part of the dream. From that night onward, the dream world flourished in new ways. Flowers that had once bloomed only in moonlight now opened even under soft cloud cover. The rivers, once gentle hums, now sang lullabies with Elara's voice woven through them. The skies rippled in deeper hues of velvet indigo and glowed with constellations that danced, as if to honor her every breath. Elara ruled not with command, but with presence, soft, watchful, always listening. She walked through the forests barefoot, laughed with the fairies, whispered to the stars. And the realm responded, as if it had always longed for someone just like her, a soul who dreamed not to escape, but to belong. Still, from time to time, she would gaze through the veil, the shimmer between worlds, and watch her old village bathed in morning light. She saw her small cottage, her empty bed, her books resting in quiet stacks, a vase of wildflowers still alive on the windowsill. But she felt no sadness, no loss, because she hadn't vanished, not really. Every night, as others drifted to sleep in her village, they too would find themselves wandering the silver forests and glowing meadows of the realm. Children chasing butterflies with wings like stained glass. Elders sipping tea beneath trees that whispered their names. Artists painting skies that mirrored their souls. And at the heart of it all, Elara watched and welcomed them, a gentle queen in a gown of stars, seated on a throne of woven moonlight, her crown no more than a simple halo of drifting petals. She did not speak much. She did not need to. For in this place, dreams were language enough. And every time someone sighed in their sleep with peace in their chest and wonder in their breath, it was because Elara had smiled. Seasons passed in the waking world, though no time truly passed in the realm of dreams. The villagers who once knew Elara remembered her kindly, as a gentle soul, quiet and curious. Some said she'd wandered far into the forest and simply never returned. Others believed she had sailed across the sea to find her place in the world. But the children knew the truth. They saw her, not with open eyes, but in dreams, walking along rivers that glowed blue in the dark, humming lullabies that wrapped around their hearts like blankets. Sometimes she whispered their names as they drifted toward sleep. Sometimes she held their hands as they crossed stormy nights. And when they awoke, they remembered her only faintly, like the trace of a melody from a half-forgotten song. The fairy queen, their queen, was no longer a distant figure upon a balcony of light. She was with them, in every dream where they felt safe, in every night that carried calm, in every flicker of magic that danced just beyond the edge of memory. And so the realm of dreams lived on, pulsing softly with warmth and wonder, ruled by the girl who had once dreamed of it and had become its heart. And if you listen closely, in the hush between thoughts, or in the flutter of your last waking breath, you may hear her. Elara, the Queen of Dreams, calling you home, softly, inviting you to rest, to wander, to belong. Now rest, dear dreamer. Let the world fall away like petals on water. Let Elara's realm wrap around you, quiet, silver, soft as starlight. There is no hurry here, no wait, only wonder. You are safe, you are seen, and the Queen of Dreams smiles for you, too. Good night, sleep well, and may you find her waiting for you, just beyond the veil of moonlight. you.